Hello, good afternoon. I'm just gonna give it a few minutes so people can log on. And I will make sure that I can see the comments. Okay. For those of you who don't know, my name is Linda Gibbs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Canada. I have decided to do a series of videos. This catalog of ours is huge and can be really confusing for people who are just starting out, or even avid crafters who've been doing it for years. They change things all the time, so I just thought I would go through and try and help you make your way through and know what things are. I also find sometimes when I'm crafting with others and teaching others, they don't know what the heck I'm talking about when I say I'm going to use dimensionals or using Stampin' Seal or whatever. So we're going to go through all of that today. So I've decided the episodes will be from A to Z. So we're starting with A today, and it's all about adhesives. So as you can see, there's a whole page in the catalog, page 162, and it has all of the adhesives available. I'm not gonna go through the catalog part. I'm gonna go through a couple of projects so that I can show you where you can use each of the adhesives. The most important adhesive to put your project together is probably your Stampin' Seal. So we'll start with that one, and then we will move on. So the Stampin' Seal is this new, it replaces the old snail that we used to have. It has a cover on it, so you can just pull off the cover, and they are refillable, so you can pull off the cover and then you can take it out to refill. The good thing with these new adhesives is they also have the Stampin' Seal Plus, which I will show you as well. And it comes in the same case. So if you only want to buy a case and then the refills and swap them out, it is a little bit cheaper. So that is, you can do that. Or you can, if you're doing a big project with lots of people and you only have so many cases, you can switch them to whichever adhesive you'd like to see. Okay, so our first, I'm just going to demonstrate the snail to start off, or the Stampin' Seal. So basically, it's very much like the snail, where you're just, sometimes it'll get, if you pull it away, it'll grab. So you just want to make sure it's sticky at the end. And you're just going to do a nice light, and I find if you roll it forward and then pick it up, then you don't lose that adhesive, so you're not trying to roll it forward with your thumb all the time. So then you just can stick it down, and this seal is really nice. It's got a good seal to it. So that's the Stampin' Seal. Next, I'm going to show you some of the glues and the dimensionals as we're going to build a project. So I cut out the sunflower, which is from the Celebrate Sunflowers and the sunflower dies that we have. And of course you have to figure out, now that I've messed up my sunflower here. So as you can see, you need to fiddle to figure out where this belongs. And once you find out, you don't want to use something like the Stampin' Seal, because once you put it down, it's hard to pick it up and move it. So if you haven't quite got it in the right place, that might not be what you want to use. So what I find easier is to use our multi-purpose glue. Let me make sure I'm using the right names here. Yeah, the multi-purpose liquid glue. And I like to keep it in a container where you can keep it upside down so the glue stays at your tip, but it really isn't necessary. I am getting towards the end of my glue, so it just helps me out a little. So you'll pick up, you really don't need a lot of this stuff. And the nice thing is it dries quickly, but not so quickly that you can't reposition it. I lost my spot again. There we go. Okay, so say I put it down, but I'm not quite in position. I'm able to kind of slide it around before it dries. So that's my liquid multi-purpose glue. Now the next part, again, there's a center. So for the center, I could use the glue, or I could pop it up using these. So these are the Stampin Dimensionals. They come in white and they come in black. They come in larger pieces and smaller pieces. So if you're working on smaller things, you can use the smaller ones. The larger ones you use less on a bigger, like a big surface like the sunflower. And I really like that they have the black, so that on a darker project such as this, you can use the black and then you're not seeing that white underneath as much. So I'm just going to take one of these and just pop it on the back. I probably could have even used a small one. And now I don't have nails a lot of the time. I don't like nails. So for me, sometimes it's hard to get it up. A lot of people, this is our take a pick tool, and a lot of people just poke and pull and take it off. But the big ones are fairly easy to work with. So there's our sunflower. And then, you know, we can pop up the sunflower as well with some dimensionals. I'll use the black just since it's a darker. So again, you would just take off the backings and then you could put it down there. Okay, so those are our dimensionals. Next, we still have the fine glue to look at. So this is the fine tip glue pen. And I use this for gluing down things that are hard to, that just have small fine areas. Now there's two ways to glue down fine areas. There's the lazy way and there's the more finicky way. If you are like me, I tend to forget. So another one of, well, we'll get to that after. So here's the leaf, and then it has a solid leaf that you can cut out. So now I need to glue my leaf onto my solid leaf. So the fine tip glue, you just simply unscrew the white cap and you pull it off, and it has a pin. I don't know if you can see the pin. And it goes inside to keep it clear. So you want to make sure that you get it on right when you put it back. And then I'll just move this over. All you have to do is squeeze it a little, and I don't know if you can see this on the video, but I usually just put it kind of in the areas that's a little bit, has a bit more paper to it. And you don't need a lot. Again, this one isn't as repositionable as the white liquid purpose glue, but it still takes time to dry, so you do have a little bit of time. It does, I find it takes longer though to set. And I'm going to show you, because it's not always, I've got a bit of dried glue here. It's not always easy, my old eyes, to get that back in. So there's your fine tip glue pen. So it works great for things like this, or some little writing, or whenever you have just little pieces that you want to put. So that's one. So now I'll just use, I'll show you the Stampin' Seal, because I'm not sure if I have. This Seal Plus is just a little bit stronger than the Seal. To me, it reminds me of the the tear and tape, like something you'd use for boxes or something that you just want a better, more solid, to hold it down more. So now I wanted to show you, there is another option for gluing down the leaf. If you remember ahead of time, before you cut out your leaf, you take your cardstock, and then another one of our adhesives is called the Adhesive Sheets, and it comes in these long sheets, and I cut out a piece of it, and I have my cardstock, and you simply peel the oh, okay, I got this backwards apparently. The sticky is on this side. So you would stick it on. Like so. So this is just your, so now I've got sticky on the other side of this. And I'm just going to show you this. So it's hard to peel. Look at me and my nails. Anyways, so you can, it's a lot easier to peel once you run it through. So what I would do is once you've got your adhesive sheet on your cardstock, you put your die on, which I thought oh, here it is. So this is a die, and you would run it through your machine. I will show you the machine later, but it cuts your leaf. But this time, instead of like this leaf that has no backing on it and it's just cardstock, so you had to glue it, now I have the adhesive sheet on here. So when I go to peel, again, no nails is not, so now I don't know if you can see, I will try and show you. It is, it's sticky, it's like a sticker. So all I have to do is stick it on my leaf. And I have an instant leaf instead of having to use glue, which I love because I don't like having glue all over my fingers. So there's our other leaf. Now, the next, I stamped a greeting from the same set, and as you can see, it's on black paper. So this is a good example of where you would want to use the white dimensionals instead of, did I say white? The black dimensionals instead of the white. And it's probably it's nice that they've got the small ones, because as you can see, the big ones you'd have to trim and make them fit. So this, you just take your little ones, and you don't need a lot of these. I don't know if I'm missing comments on here. One sec. See, I thought I had it running. I must. Okay, anyways, we'll just use 3 of these, and again, you just pop them off. And then, you know, it matches your paper perfectly. So even if something was sticking up a little bit, or if, oh, I didn't need one here. My bad. Okay. So you could do something like that. Makes for, oops, I didn't glue that one down. So those are many adhesives all in one project that you can use. So hopefully that clarified those pieces. Now I thought I would, there is, oh, there was one more thing here. Let's just pop this. Oh, I don't have any out. Okay. Well, we're gonna pretend. So I was going to show you how to that would be funny. Sequins. Okay. We need sequins. So if you've got sequins and you want to put them on your project, glue does work, and you could use glue and then you could use your tool and pick them up and put them on the glue, but I find then they come up all the time. So the nice thing to do if they fit is we have these mini glue dots. And so they come in a roll and you just kind of peel it back till you find your glue dot. And what I really like, again, I like my Picket tool. See, these sequins are a little small for this, but you can just put it down. Actually, it fits perfectly. And then you have a already backed sequin. Now, this sequin doesn't quite match. I wasn't planning ahead. But here, let's use this darker one. So glue dots can be used for many, many different things, but you can use it for ribbon to put a bow on. You can use it for really anything that needs a small little circle. They're quite strong, or buttons or whatever needs a little more, and that wouldn't use the Stampin' Seal. So those are the glue dots. Now we have, I think, and I kind of mentioned the Stampin' Seal is kind of like this tear and tape. Might not be as strong as the tear and tape, but pretty darn close. So the tear and tape is something that I usually use when I'm building, not necessarily a card, but more of a 3D something. So I'm going to build a box today, and this is kind of for a chocolate bar. I pre-scored and did everything because I'm just wanting to show you the adhesive today. So we're going, so this box basically goes like so. So we're going to want to put a piece of, so the way the tear and tape works is you basically peel it, you stick it down and figure out the length you want, and then you just tear it. It's super, super easy. The hardest part of the tear and tape is probably peeling it off, again, if you don't have nails. If you have nails, crafting a lot of times is a lot easier, just depends. So, and then you can put on these little ones, you could just put the Stampin' Seal Plus, just because it's faster. Oopsie, I did that wrong. And then, like I said, with nails, I usually use my Picket tool. I just find that corner, peel it off. I probably should have scored my lines, but that's okay. So there's, oopsie, I should have done that first. So again, I'll just peel that, and then your adhesive is left behind. And this one is something it's once you stick it, you're not going to get it apart. So you kind of have to line things up ahead of time. So there. Now, as you can see, it's like really sturdy, so it'll stay together. And then you could pop a chocolate bar in there. And then, so now for another, I'll show you the Stampin' Seal again, just so you can see it in action. Again, lifting it up at an angle always helps. So now, this is another new product that came out this year. It's called Foam Adhesive Sheets. And they're very much like the Stampin' Dimensionals, but you can cut them out using the dies. Now, you wouldn't want to cut them out with a really fine die like the leaf that we just saw, but for lettering and for bigger things, it works great. And letters are always hard to get the dimensionals on if you want them to pop up because they're too big. Even the small ones are too big, and there's always corners showing, and it's just hard to get them on there. So having these sheets is amazing, especially with our one letter set that is beautiful. I also tried it on this lettering, which is part of the Love You More Than Dies set. So as you can see, the lettering is quite a bit, it's fairly fine. It's not as fine as the leaf. It's a little bit finicky. I ran it through twice instead of just once. And as I don't know if you can see, it did cut all the way through. So I wanted to show you. You do have to be willing to play with it a little bit. It's not as easy as with just a bigger, bolder letter. Oh, there we go. It all just wants to pull away. Let's see if we can pull off the outside with the inside. That'd be easier. There we go. Almost. Okay, well, apparently I'm pulling all of it off. So now I basically have a foam adhesive stuck to my paper in the die. Now I just need to get it out of the die. So just poke it out. So again, maybe not as friendly with these finer dies, but if you're willing to put in the time, you can get a nice popped up word. And then it just sticks down. Oops. Like that. And it's popped up. So as you can see, it has the nice foam background. So you have a nice, it gives it some good dimension. And then that's for your chocolate bar. And then if you want to put a nice decoration, then you have your project. And it's nice and sturdy. You probably, oops. So that's the foam. Oh, I should show you how the foam, how I put it on. So it's kind of the same as the adhesive sheet. You take, so they come in this square size, and then you can just cut it down. So if you have a, let's say you have a piece of cardstock, you would just cut your foam, and then you just peel. So it's double-sided, so there's adhesive on each side. So you would just peel the one side, put your cardstock on, run it through the machine, and then pull off the other side like you saw me do with the chocolate. So those are the foam adhesive sheets. The last thing, I think, just turn tape, dimensionals. Yes. So the last of the adhesives that's on that page, it is the cling adhesive, and basically it's for older stamp sets. So any of the stamp sets that are green, I believe, and not the new black. So these black ones, they all say cling stamp set. So our stamps are either cling, or they are, which is red rubber, or they're photopolymer. So the photopolymer, they're sticky on their own. You don't have to worry about adhesive. The red rubber stamps, the newest ones are called cling because they're super clingy and they stick to our acrylic blocks, which is how you stamp, which I will go through in another episode. But anyways, I wanted to go through the cling adhesive. So the reason they brought out the cling adhesive is because our older stamps were not cling. And if you take a look, they are not, let me get the block again, they don't stick. You used to have to like wet them, or like they depended on static to hold. So a lot of times you'd go and put them in your stamp ink pad, and then it would stick to the ink pad, or it would fall just as you were about to put it on your project. So a lot of people were getting frustrated with that. So a lot of people would like to turn theirs, since these new ones, the new cling is amazing, we all want to turn it into cling. So they're selling these cling sheets, and all you have to do is, I don't know if you can see, they're in strips, and so you don't need to cover your entire stamp in order for the cling to work. I did put it on the happy birthday, as you can see. It's very clingy, and I just put a strip in the middle because when you have it on a block, this isn't the block I would necessarily put it on, it doesn't fit. They're so clingy, they're almost hard to get off the block if you have cling on the whole surface. So it's nice if you have a bit that's not clingy, and then it's easier to take it on and off, but it still holds really well. So I will just show you. You take one of your, and I think I messed it up by when I cut this because it's not working the way it should. The adhesive is supposed to stay on the backing, but it's staying on the front now. That's my bad for cutting it. Now I did learn, because I was converting mine with old sheets, and I did, where did my scissors go? So let's see if this will work, because on the old sheets I used to be able to slice it, then peel it, and then it would stick. Yes, there we go. So if you're having troubles making it stick, just do a nice light slice in there and you will be on your way. Let's see, that one's not quite as long. I don't need the whole thing. So you would just stick it down, and then you're going to pull it up, and I don't know if it'll break. There we go. And then I don't know if you can see that in the video, but now it's clingy. So if I take my block and I can pick it right up, and it stays really well, and then I can just peel it to take it off. So that is how you, and then there's also some people who are converting their really old stamps that were the wood stamps into these cling stamps. So you can unmount your wood stamps and then put them on. So that's the nice part with these. These are the cling adhesive sheets, and it comes in a, it says 168, but it must be 100. I'm guessing 168 little strips. But really, you only need one strip max per stamp. So unless it's a really big stamp. So you can do a whole lot of stamps with that. So again, if I pull my clean all this off. Bring this back here. I end up with messy workspaces. So we went through, the adhesive sheets are used for die cutting on fine things that you don't want to have to put your glue on. The fine tip glue pen is your alternative. The multi-purpose glue can be used for anything and everything. It does give you that little extra time to kind of get things in the right spot to reposition. The mini glue dots, they're great for holding embellishments, ribbon, cardstock, anything really. They're great. The tear and tape adhesive is great for your 3D projects and large embellishments. We have these little acorns right now in our holiday catalog, and they're super pretty, but they're heavy. So I've actually used the tear and tape on there to hold it down so it doesn't fall off. And then the Stampin' Seal is your everyday seal that you would put your cards together with and most all your cardstock. Stampin' Seal Plus, again, for your 3D projects. The foam adhesive strips, that was the popped up lettering. And again, like I said, if you do lettering on the, oh, I should have had an example out. The bolder letters, that it works really well, actually. These letters, it's the, what are they called? What are the pattern play? Playful alphabet dies. These ones work really well with those foam adhesive sheets. And then your Stampin Dimensionals, where they come in black and white and the regular size and mini. Then there's the foam, we just did. Oh, there's also foam adhesive strips, which I didn't go through, which are similar to the foam adhesive sheets, but they're just in long strips. So you could use them for, to seal if you're doing a shaker card or something. Those are handy. And then the cling adhesive. So we went through all the different adhesives. So hopefully that helps. Next week for the live, I will be in the bees, and so we will be looking at blends and bundles, and I will explain what all those are next week. So hopefully you can join me again next week at noon on Wednesday, and we will be looking at some blends and bundles. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you later. Thanks. Bye.